Howdy y'all, Fast Forward 289. So tonight, we're going to be going up underneath my car and I'm going to show you how to adjust the modulator valve on your old Ford if you got a C4, C6 or FMX transmission. Very simple procedure if you want to delay your shifts or maybe speed up the shifts and how it shifts. We'll go through that and show you, I'm going to go through that and show you how to do it. So let's get started. Alright, so once you're underneath the car, you're going to want to look for this valve right here, which is called your modulator valve. And you can find these on Ford C4 C6 FMX. You know, this is an FMX. So to adjust your shift pattern or your timing, you know, to delay a shift from first to second and second to third, you got this vacuum line here that you need to pull off. And inside this hole here is a screw. And what you're going to want to do is find a very small screwdriver that will fit inside that hole. It's a very small hole. So you got to find something that's going to fit inside that hole. I don't know how well, let's see here. It's hard to see, but there is a screw in there. It's a screw with two slots to fit the head of a flat blade screw. A flat blade screwdriver into. And so generally you want to adjust these by a quarter of a turn at a time. So you want to adjust it by a quarter of a turn, then go drive it, and you put the screwdriver in here and you can feel it lock in. There we go, you can feel it lock in like that. And so what I like to do is just look at where the head of my screwdriver is when I put it in there. And so I know a quarter of a turn, you know, that's a quarter of a turn. I'm going to go ahead and give it a half, just because I know how the car shifts and I know what I'm looking for. But ordinarily, you know, you would want to do, like I said, a quarter of a turn, and then at a time go drive the car, come back. If it's not enough, turn it in a quarter of a turn, go drive it, and see how it shifts. Turn it to the right is making it to where to hold the shifts longer. Turn it to the left obviously makes it where it shifts quicker. So it's just fine, you know, I can leave it, but I want to delay it just a little bit, you know, just a little bit longer. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna drive it and see how it's done, see how it's doing. I mean, so after that, you just want to put your vacuum line back on. No big deal, you know, easy. Make sure it's plugged in all the way. And it could be sometimes a tight fit in here to get in here, but anyway, you get the idea. Put the vacuum line on, and I'll get that in a minute. Put the vacuum line on, and then go drive it. All right, so now we're just got the car back down, and then we can take it for a test drive. Alrighty, so there we go. We have that done now. I adjusted the valve, went and drove it. Probably going to end up adjusting it by another quarter of a turn or half a turn to give it just a little bit more delay on the shifts. But I can tell a difference. Half a turn did make a difference. It shifts a little bit firmer now, holds the shifts a little bit longer, and that's just under a light acceleration. So that's good. I like it to hold just a little bit longer, so I'm probably going to, like I said, adjust it by a quarter to half a turn more. But very simple, you know, and like I said, you want to adjust it by a quarter of a turn generally. Now, if you know if the car, like if you change the rear end gears and it's shifting really quick, you can go ahead and turn the screw in half a turn or a full turn to get you started, and then adjust from there a quarter of a turn at a time. You know, go drive it, come back, see how it shifts, come back, adjust it a quarter of a turn, go drive it, come back, you know, and till you get to your liking. Now, generally, you don't want to turn the back the screw out. You want to go in only. You know, don't screw it, don't turn back on unless you have to. That's why you go a quarter turn at a time, so you don't do too much, so you don't have to back it back out. So, because when you keep back, if you back it out and then turn it and tighten it and loosen it and all that, you could mess up the diaphragm inside. Then it's going to start leaking and cause you problems. So generally, you just want to do it a quarter of a turn, tightening it at a time. So just be mindful of that. They do have different modulator valves with different stripes, and they make different, and they determine, I should say, kind of, you know, they adjust more, I guess you would say. I think your most common one is a yellow stripe. I believe that's right. The most common is a yellow stripe, which is your standard, just whatever. It's adjustable, obviously, and you can adjust it how you want to. You can go buy a green stripe, which will hold it a little bit longer, I believe. They're more of a, I guess, a high performance or a sport
modulator, I guess, you would say, to where it'll hold the shifts longer, if the yellow stripe's not getting you where you want to be. So I think they got a purple stripe. I can't remember what all the stripes stand for, but I think the green is your most, either the green or black stripe is your most aggressive, where it'll hold it the longest. But and that could be a whole nother video trying to get in that, cause the pin also makes a difference. There's a pin in there. If you pull the modulator valve out, there's a pin in there, and depending on how long or short it is, can determine also your shifts. So I know people take, I think it's an 8D nail, I believe, that you can grind down and smooth out and make your own pin out of. That's options, that's very fine tuning things there. But generally, you can just turn the screw and get it to where you want it, generally speaking here. So, but yeah, very simple. You can do this easy, no problem. And that's all there is to it. Just take your time on it. Like I said, just a quarter turn at a time. It'd be good to go. And it's just trial and error, well, you test and go, what I'm saying? Like, you go drive it, come back. If it's not good, you crawl up underneath the car again, you turn another quarter turn and go drive it. Yes, it's tedious. It can take a little while to get it exactly how you like it. But when you're done, the end result is worth it, I believe. Because then you're happy with driving the car. If you have automatic, obviously this only applies to automatics, obviously. But once you get it to where you like it, and you don't feel like manual shifting gears, you can just put it in drive and go. But it shifts the way you want it. It's sweet. It's nice. So I believe the end result is worth the time it takes to come back and, adjust it and whatnot. So, but yeah, if y'all have any comments or concerns, leave them down below. Let me know what y'all think. I'd love to hear it. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a good night.